So our first stop for the day is this beautiful fig tree. So let us just all pause here and admire the figs. But if you close your eyes and just feel the air around you, does it feel cooler? It feels a little bit like a forest, because these large trees have created a microclimate and it is becoming closer and closer to a forest. So this is very important for both birds, other wildlife, because they need this microclimate, this need forest-like humidity to thrive and survive. So this is the starting point. By having complex layers of plants, you are actually creating something that is more forest-like. Let's think, why is this important? Yeah, we are very close to Gamala marshes. We are very close to Kranji marshes. Both are stone's throw away, and both of these habitats are actually used by birds, by other wildlife, both resident and migratory. Now, around here in Kranji marshes and surroundings, Neo Tiew area, you have a lot of open habitat, grasslands, young forests that have just come up in the last few years, and they are coming up like woodlands. A lot of it is actually not native wildlife, not native trees, but it's used by native fauna, native birds, native butterflies, native other native species. So when we begin to include things like these in the mix, these fig trees, then you begin to have a good cocktail. Because what is not outside is inside. So you get a good diversity. All these birds now are able to feed on the figs. And because figs are in a way keystone, they fruit a long time, much more than other species, then this is like a year-round supply for them. So this is great.
So what you're saying is that it feeds the birds, so that also supports the birds being around, right?
Yeah. Exactly. And so this can be a foraging ground for other birds around the area. They go to the marsh, they have their insects, and then they can come here, they can have a good mix of both insects and fruits. There are several native figs around here. So in terms of the land use history, a lot of this area was cleared before, for plantations, other uses. Then once it was abandoned, right, things started coming back. So it's new growth, 10, 20, 30 years, and a lot of it is just what survives in open habitats. You give it maybe 50 more years, more native things will start coming in.
I was just going to ask, so does it enable succession?
It does.
Is invasive species enable succession for native species to
It does.
Eventually?
Usually it just needs some intervention, a little helping hand. So once the issue with our native trees is that they are forest dependent. So they cannot really survive in open areas. So what you need is, you need a layer of whatever native or non-native trees to first establish, and then you start go and plant your native trees, and it's great. And then there is a beautiful noni tree. A lot of fruit trees. Jackfruit. Here up front of us is the common Mormon butterfly. It's just flying around, and it's here because its caterpillar food plant is here, which are two things: the curry leaf and this guy. So it feeds on citrus family. And
there it is.
There it is. This is a very common butterfly, but a butterfly that actually adapts from the forest all the way to urban areas. And yeah, it's really good to see it here. That's your curry.
Yeah. Wow.
So the mummy butterfly will be very happy to see this. Okay, there are even plants like these. This is Aditi. When the berries ripe, they become black and they are quite attractive to birds. So these kind of things you will usually not see in commercial farms. These are wild and native. A lot of times they are planted. I'm not sure if this particular one is natural or planted, but it's quite valuable.
Mm.
How is it valuable?
It's also, as I said, it's birds like it as berries, and then it's also a caterpillar food plant for the harlequin butterfly, which is quite a rare butterfly. So it's always a pleasure if you can see one. Currently, the populations are restricted more in the western part, near NTU and all that. So I'm not sure if it's here. So here's another good example. This is a plant called the 7 golden candlesticks. And this is a caterpillar food plant for several butterflies, such as the lemon emigrant, several emigrant butterflies, which are very fast flyers. And these kind of plants are missing from our young forests, so it's good to have them here. So the caterpillars can come, butterflies can come, and they sort of then create a cycle. They provide the food for the birds. So then it becomes a complete ecosystem. We have the sunbird going for the hibiscus.
Yes.
Now you have forests around here, natural forests, but they don't have the diversity of flowers and fruits that is here.
Mm.
So the wildlife gets this that they can't get elsewhere.
Mm. Even the forest.
Yes, because these forests are very young, so they don't have the diversity of plants.
I see.
Behind us is the papaya. So this is very good. Here you see a nectar feeding bird on hibiscus, and then moments later you might see fruit eating birds come over to the papaya. There's even a starling sitting and watching us.
Yeah.
By the way, these small white flowers, these are acistaceas. These are growing wild. They are actually non-native, but they're a great resource for butterflies. We've recorded more than 50 species of butterflies that feed on this.
Feed on Acacia.
Yeah, more than 50. It's crazy.
Is it this particular variety?
Yeah, this one, the white flower with the purple
Tinge. Yeah. Wow. And the flower is edible as well.
Is it?
Yeah, the
Oh,
farm
wow.
I used to work on,
Uh-huh.
they supply it to some of the really fancy restaurants here in Singapore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
The
could do
leaves are
that.
edible as
The
well.
greens are edible. I eat it on my farm.
The leaves are edible as well.
But what do they do with the flowers?
Plate it to make it look pretty.
It's like
Oh.
fine dining.
It's fine dining restaurants.
Yeah, these clumps are really good. But usually buzzing with insects.
Yeah. There's a lot of insects.
Yeah.
See?
Here you see some honeybees. It's also great for butterflies. And then when you have these, you have spiders. And when you have all that, then you get insect-eating birds coming in as well. So dragonflies are an indicator of a good environment because they need good quality water to actually lay the eggs. So if you have clear ponds, then you are likely to have dragonflies. And dragonflies also control other insect populations, so they are a good thing to have. A lot of times when we are designing landscapes these days, we get questions, oh, if we put water, we will get mosquitoes. What do we do? So I just tell them, you have to have two systems. You have to have pumps, make sure water is circulating, so you have a mechanical system plus the ecological system. So you have the frogs, you have the dragonflies, and the birds, and then they will do the job for you. And I think a lot of people don't think about the second system, but we are seeing it here in practice.